Hey everyone, Kayley, your friendly neighborhood hairstylist here, and today we're going to talk about how to DIY your own wedding hair, but also make it look professional. I feel like the thought of doing your own wedding hair or having your bridesmaids do their own hair is daunting because whole people make their whole professions out of doing really good wedding hair. But we do have wedding trends on our side. Things are getting more minimal and more accessible to do. Number one in our corner. Number two in your corner is me. I have spent a lot of time doing wedding hair. I really love it. It's some of my favorite work to do. And I feel like I've learned both how to do it elaborately and how to do it simply. So I want to talk you guys through some actually simple hairstyles that you can do yourself, and also talk about the little things that I add in here and there that I feel like are definitely easy to learn and you can pick up and use for yourself. And honestly, even if you don't use this for your actual wedding day, there are so many events around wedding time that you can use hair inspo for. So I wanna give you guys my tips and tricks. I wanna make this easy because more wedding hair stuff just needs to be easy. And I hope that it really helps you guys. I do wanna thank Beyond Hair Extensions for sponsoring part of this video, and also remind you guys to click that like button if you're excited for wedding hair, and click subscribe if you're new here. I post new hair content every Friday. That being said, let's start talking some wedding hair. Okay, my very first tip. I tell this to people that I'm giving advice to. I tell this to brides that I am going to be styling. Consider hair extensions. Because you wanted to grow out your hair for your wedding, but it's not quite getting long enough? Extensions. You have fine hair and you want it to be fuller? Extensions. You want your hair to hold its hairstyle better? Extensions. You want your hair to look like that Pinterest image? Extensions. I would say 95% of the stuff I see on Pinterest and Instagram has extensions in it. I know that I'm repping my very favorite hair extension company, Beyond Hair Extensions, today. That is irrelevant to this point. I would be saying it regardless because I really, really believe that it is the easiest, quickest way from every day to special day. If / when I get married again, I will be wearing extensions. And so I would be amiss to not tell you that I recommend extensions, especially if you're doing your own hair, because it gives it a much more professional look with hardly any effort. And you don't just have to wear it on the wedding day. You can use it for events before, you can wear it on your honeymoon, and then any special day or Tuesday after. But I understand if you've never used them before, it can seem daunting, so I thought I would show you 2 ways that you can put in hair extensions for your wedding if you want to. So here's your option for putting in all of the wefts of your hair extensions. For me, my hair is getting towards medium length, and it is almost long enough to just go ahead and pop the extensions in, but I am gonna give you guys a really quick optional step for shorter hair. I'm gonna section off my hair from about the ears down and bring it all together and braid it, and then make it into a little bun in the back of my head. If your hair is really short, you might wanna do this in 2 different pieces. Just generally, you want to get this section flat against your head, however is easiest for you. All right, if you're gonna do the short hair option, go ahead and do that. Everybody else, we're gonna part our hair about 1 to 3 inches up from the hairline and clip everything else up and out of the way. Then you're going to grab a 6-inch weft of your extensions and place that right along the part line. Today I'm going to be using Beyond Hair Extensions. These guys are my favorite hair extensions, and I have tried a lot of them. Now we're gonna let the hair down and then create a parting about 1 inch up from the extensions that we just placed and clip the hair up again. Another tip that I like to use is to tease the roots of the section before you clip in. That just gives the clip something to hold on to. For this section, we're gonna be using another 6-inch weft. The extra hold is always a good thing, but I do have to note that these clips are the most secure and comfy clips I've ever tried, and it's magic. You might have noticed on that last weft that the roots are a little bit darker. It's a hairstylist trick that I like to use. I get some gray root cover spray and spray the base of my hair extensions, and that way it just blends with my natural dark roots. Next step, we let down another inch of hair, and then we're going to apply our 8-inch weft. And now one more time, we are going to drop down 1 more inch of hair and apply our 7-inch weft. All right, that's the back done. Now we're going to do the front sides. Let this down. You're gonna go 1 inch over your ear on one side, clip that out of the way, a little tease, then grab your 1.5-inch weft and clip it in right here. Boop, drop it down, go 1 inch higher. I kind of measure by like 2 fingers. That helps me visualize 1 inch. And now you're gonna grab your 4.5-inch weft and apply that. And finally, 1 more inch over and apply your final 1.5-inch weft. And then repeat that on the other side. And here is the finished result of all of my extensions in. I have skipped ahead to where my hair is curled, but I'm also gonna show you guys how to curl your hair in a moment. I just wanted to show you what the whole effect is. This is a set of extensions and a curling iron. Transformation. And that's what I wanted to point out about hair extensions, is that they make a really big difference, and you're even going to see that in the hairstyles that I do with them, but it's not a lot of extra effort. So I do just really love them. And that's why I recommend hair extensions for weddings a lot, because it does just make such a difference. And using good quality extensions too, because then it's going to blend really well. Like these have multi-tonal shades. There's like highlights and lowlights in here. So it blends with my hair really well. It comes pre-layered, so it looks like this out of the bag. And they independently test the quality of the hair while it's being made, so you get what you're paying for. It's just so good. It's above and beyond what anybody else does. That's why I love Beyond Hair Extensions. It's why, if you guys want my recommendation, that's it. That's the effect of the entire set. And now I want to show you guys how you can do just some hair extensions instead of the whole shebang. Whether you're just a little bit more minimal, or you want some ideas for how you can wear extensions maybe for your honeymoon or something a little bit more low-key. For this one, we're going to focus on fullness at the sides, and this is especially good for people who like to wear their hair forward over their shoulders. Hi, it me. But just generally it helps to frame and fill out really, really well. So here's how to do it. You're going to start by parting your hair about halfway across your head, clip the rest up, and then use a 6-inch weft across the back. Then you can transition to the front. You're gonna part your hair about 2 inches over your ear and apply your 4.5-inch weft. Then 1 inch over that, you're gonna apply a 1.5-inch weft. So there's my before and after, and I've just gotta say I love how transforming hair extensions are. It does just make me feel like an extra fancy lady. If you guys do want to check out my favorite hair extensions, you can go to beyondextensions.com and you can use code KMXBeyond for a free extension bag if you decide to purchase. Thanks again, Beyond Hair Extensions, for working with me on this part of the video. Let's keep going. At this point, whether you have chosen extensions or no, the next most important thing is the preparation of the hair. What you put on your hair when it's wet, the way you blow dry it, any other products you use, how you heat style it, all of it is important. So let me talk you through like my basic routine for a wedding hairstyle. And I'm gonna talk you through this as if we're going to be doing like your very classic loose wedding curls. So picture that texture and then think about what comes between your hair and that texture. It could be humidity, hold, shine, frizz, flatness, too much volume, any of the things. You want to apply products that are going to combat whatever those things are. I think everybody needs a product that's going to add hold or memory. If you want extra volume, a volumizing mousse is a great way to go. If you don't feel like you need to really create volume on your hair, then go for a blow dry styler that advertises memory or hold in the product. If you have medium to thick, wavy, or curly hair, I recommend adding in some oil. If you're gonna be doing a lot of heat styling, you wanna go ahead and give your hair some lipids so it has more shine once you do that. And for fine to medium hair, I do think adding in something shine enhancing at some point in the process is good, but you don't need to add in a lot of moisture because that does tend to weigh down fine to wavy hair. Next, dry it right. If your hair is curl resistant, just rough dry it. Don't try to get any kind of straight texture into it because for whatever reason, curl resistant hair really remembers what you do with it when it's wet. So if you go through and you're like straightening it out and then you try to curl it, it might not hold. If your hair needs volume, make sure you're blow drying it up. I feel like you probably know that one though. And if your hair is curly, honestly, consider wearing your hair naturally curly. It looks so pretty. It's gonna look really good with the wedding dress. But if that's not your vision, that's totally cool. You're the bride. You wanna go ahead and get your hair as straight as you can while you're drying it. That way, when you go through with the curling iron, it's going to look as smooth as possible. All right, now it's time for your dry product prep. Yep, more products. Here I recommend a heat protectant that adds some hold. So the Way Memory Mist is a favorite of mine. I'll link some others down below because I feel like I have a lot in this category. Generally, you want your heat protectant and you want a light amount of hold. Then you're going to curl according to your favorite curl pattern. Today, I'm doing a really basic curl where I just take a 1.25 inch iron and I curl everything away from my face. If your hair is hard to curl, I recommend going a 1/4 inch smaller than you actually want because then your hair will loosen up to the desired shape. And I recommend for everybody that you let your hair cool in whatever shape it comes off of the iron and then touch it later once the curls are completely cool. That gives them the best chance to set. It's honestly better for your curls than any kind of hairspray. Generally, if you're leaving your hair down in any way for the wedding, you are going to feel the need to continually touch up. So it's better to use a flexible hold hairspray because that can be added on layer and layer and layer and still work, rather than going in with a firm hold hairspray. Firm hold hairsprays more often than not just create bird's nests and don't necessarily help curls to hold that much better. Okay, at this point, the hair already looks amazing. Like you could just go as is or add an accessory, but I'm also gonna show you a couple really simple hairstyles you can do. These are gonna look better on extensions, but you probably could do them without. So for the hairstyle on my hair, I wanna show you a wedding ponytail. Stick with me because I'm a big believer in the wedding ponytail. You get to have that sense of having your hair down, being a little bit chill, but also everything is out of your way. When you're dancing, you don't have to be fixing your hair every 5 seconds for pictures. It's the best of both worlds. So let's talk about how to do it. We're gonna be splitting our hair into 4 sections. First, you're gonna separate out the hair in front of your ears on both sides. Then in the back, you're going to split your hair in half and clip the top half up. And those are our 4 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna start by taking the section we let down in the back and secure that into a ponytail. You want this one to feel so secure. As an optional step, because my hair is kind of a medium length, I'm going to take this little chunk of hair that's hanging out and I'm gonna wrap it around my elastic and pin it in place just so it's not hanging out here at the bottom of my ponytail, exposing me. That is the hair that would have been in my little short hair optional bun at the back of my neck if I was wearing my hair down. I just put it in the ponytail and then that's how I'm getting it out of the way here. All right, now we're gonna let the top down and I've separated the top off so that we can really preserve volume and texture in this hair that's going straight back. And now with every hairstyle today, I am going to gently comb the crown of the head. This is just gonna help add symmetry to the hairstyle. You don't want to actually see the bump. You just want a little bit of lift to match with all the extra volume that you have going on. It also helps if you have any areas in the back of your head that like to split open. By that I mean your hair. I hope your head isn't splitting open. You're gonna start with little sections and tease in little bits going back. Then you smooth over the top to make sure you can't see any of that teasing. And there we go, there's not a noticeable bump, there's just some lift. Now you're gonna pull the hair in the back into another ponytail, including the first one, and secure it with another elastic. And now we just have sections 3 and 4 left. I'm gonna start on my left side, and this section is going to come back like I'm pulling it into the ponytail. But first, I'm gonna loosen up any hair that I want down in front of my face. And then I'm going to twist the hair and loosen it up. This is one of the things that extensions really help with because it's already a lot more voluminous than it would be if I was just using my own hair. And now you're gonna take this twist around the back of your head and pin it on the other side of your ponytail. We also want to give this twist some support, so just kind of cradle it where you want it to sit and pin into the twist as if it were a tunnel. Alrighty, now same thing on the other side. Okay, a big no-no in wedding hairstyling is having all of this pretty looseness and then having these tight little hairs showing right here. Just kind of gives it away. So what you're gonna do, if you can see them, just pull them apart a little bit. And for a little bit more texture and fluff in your ponytail, if you want it, split the ponytail in half and back brush just the top half. And that is your wedding ready ponytail. She is beautiful, she is easy. You can leave it as is or you can accessorize. This can go for so many different vibes. If you go with a messier texture, it's a lot more lived in and bohemian. If you go even more classic and sleek, obviously it's a little bit more classic and elevated, just depending on your taste. It's able to be that easy because you have all the fullness from the extensions. So the twist, you can actually just twist and pull apart and it looks like magic. Whereas if it was just my own hair, I would have to do a whole lot of work to make it look anything like this. So that is the ponytail. Let me show you guys a quick, cute little half updo. So for Anna Laura, we're starting with just a couple wefts of extensions in, and those extra extensions on the side are gonna give her a lot of hair to work with to create this half updo. So the first thing you wanna do is give a tiny bit of back combing at the crown, again, just for symmetry. If you can see a bump, you've gone too far. Then pick up a section from one side and twist it loosely back. You're gonna loosen that up a little bit with your fingers and then pin it in place. And then you're just gonna repeat the same thing on the other side. You want to make sure that you really like the way that it looks from the front when you pick up the section. So take a little minute, look at it from the front, Then sweep it across the back, put it over the bobby pin that we just put in, and then pin up and into this one like a tunnel. Once you've done that, you can zhuzh the ends a little bit and it is complete. It can be that easy and quick, and it looks great with the veil because it gives a nice like flow on the sides into the veil, and the bobby pins give the veil something to hold on to. As do the hair extensions, actually. That is another thing that is very helpful about hair extensions on a wedding day. And now we have arrived at my next soapbox. Extensions are a very important soapbox to me. My next important one is to keep it you. Because I feel like a lot with weddings, we feel like we have to do the wedding version of this. Like, this is what other people have done, let me just pick the one I like the best and recreate that. And honestly, that's brilliant a lot of the time because you have so many decisions to make. You cannot start from scratch on everything. But you have probably already found that there are times where you like to imbibe your own personality and taste. And I just wanted to give you guys some tips and tricks on how you can do that with your hair if you want to. And Anna Laura and I actually picked out a hairstyle each based on this, so those are gonna be your next 2 tutorials in this video. But basically, here's what to do. First of all, think about a time where your hair looked great. Just like go back through your Insta pics or whatever, pick out where you thought your hair was really doing it. What does it look like? Is it up? Is it down? Is it a high ponytail? Is it a low ponytail? Is it half up? Chances are this is going to lead you to a tried and true favorite silhouette for your hair. Number 2, base it off of your usual part and hair framing. Your part and the way your hair frames your face is such a big part of feeling like yourself, you might not even realize it. And as much as you want to like feel and look special on the day of your wedding, that is already baked right in. You're wearing a beautiful dress, you've got like more hair and makeup on than usual, you're gonna feel that. Going for a drastic side part when you never do that, or a middle part when you never do that, is not gonna enhance the experience. Go with what's familiar, go with what you know you like. Think about texture, whatever texture you like on your hair. Do you have a favorite way to curl it? Do you like your natural curls? You wanna wear it straight? You wanna wear it tousled and messy? It is all fair game, whatever you wanna do. And finally, I really recommend looking at Instagram and red carpet and celebrity hairstyles. There are so many options out there, and there's a lot of different forms of expression within those hairstyles than when you're just searching wedding hairstyles. And so it can help spark a little creativity if you're feeling dry in the wedding hair category. And wherever the answers to those lead you is completely right. I want you to have permission to do the exact hairstyle that makes you feel like your best, most excited self on the day of your wedding, no matter what that is. So hopefully that helps get you there. So now let's give you some examples of how that might look. For my keep it simple style, I was attracted to these really minimal bun hairstyles. I tried a bunch and I ended up with a braided one, obviously. I just really liked the idea of a bun that wasn't fussy and big and like glamorous. It was just there and pretty and minimal, and that's what I'm gonna do for this one. First things first, I'm gonna section off the crown of my head. This step is optional. And now the rest of the hair is gonna go into a ponytail. Obviously, first you're gonna let down anything in the front that you want. For me, I've got my bangs and some tendrils, and I'm gonna tuck the rest of the hair behind my ears and then pull it into a ponytail. I decided to texturize mine by pulling at little pieces of hair and doing this number on them. It's just a way to kind of make the hair a little bit more tousled and hairy looking. That aesthetic, however, is up to you. You could do this very sleek if you prefer. I'm gonna let this down, and I'm just gonna bobby pin it loosely over the bun. And the reason that I did this part separately is just to maintain as much lift and texture as possible. And now because my hair is really short, I'm going to split it in half and I'm going to braid each half of the ponytail. That way I can create a bun with it. If you have longer hair, I would play around with both options. I think doing it in 2 braids gives you a little bit more visual interest to the hairstyle, but depending on how full your hair is, it might be a little bit bigger than you want. So just play around, see what works best for your hair. I forgot to say we're gonna texturize this. Haha, let's texturize these braids. I'm just gonna do this little rub on them because I'm not trying to really pancake these guys. Now for the bun. You're gonna take 1 braid and wrap it around to make as much of a bun as you can. For me, that's gonna be like not even a full circle. Pin that in place. Then for the second braid, you're going to wrap it around in the same direction, and you want to make sure that it starts over the tail of the first one so you can hide it. Then you wrap it around, tuck the ends under wherever you can, and pin. And then for the final step, you're going to pull the bun apart wherever you need to create a symmetry, and then you're done. So there you go. It is a really simple hairstyle, but it's beautifully minimal and it will accentuate any dress that you put it with. I think also a very minimal accessory would go well with this hairstyle. For our Keep It Simple on Anna Laura's hair, I'm gonna really focus on keeping it sleek and minimal. So she has these 1 1/4 inch curls that have fallen a little bit. We're gonna put some shine serum over it to make it nice and shiny. Then we're gonna go with her part of choice. And then the front hair is gonna go back behind the ears. And to do that, she's gonna take a comb and just really gently slide the hair back to where it goes. And now it's time to secure these in place. You can bobby pin, but honestly, snap clips would be the easiest. And I think actually getting one in your hair color too, this is likely to show, but if you got one very close to your hair color, not likely at all. So what we're gonna do is pick up the hair that doesn't really need to be secured, so none of the hair from here, but the hair over it. Move that out of the way. And now we take the hair that needs to be clipped back. You take your snap clip and snap it down. Then you release this and you're covered. The next step is to do a tiny bit of teasing at the crown. It gives you a nice little lift here so that like your jawline looks a little bit more snatched and the profile is really pretty. Ooh. So if you can see that there's a bump, you've gone too far. But if there's just like a nice little lift, that's where you want to be. Alrighty, that first product did not do what I wanted it to do, so now we are adding more. This is definitely a hairstyle where you want to be doing your masks, you want to be hydrating, you want to avoid heat as much as possible leading up to it, like just treating your hair the nicest because you want it to look super shiny. It wouldn't hurt to go into your hairstylist and ask for like a clear gloss like a week before the wedding. That would add a lot of extra shine to your hair as well.
Also, it wouldn't hurt to throw in a set of extensions.
Honestly,
that would look bomb.
It would look so good on this hairstyle.
It would.
And I'm gonna use this vegan Boar bristle brush to go over it. If you want a really shiny, sleek hairstyle, you have to pick up a Boar bristle or faux Boar bristle brush. And then we do our light coat of hairspray. These waves on Anna Laura are so minimal and I'm loving it. If you do have more intense waves in or you just want to define them a little bit more, you can always spray, kind of stick the can in and push. Just let it sit for a second, or get a friend, a bridesmaid, anybody. Oh, and the very last thing that's important, spray a blush brush with some hairspray and go over the baby hairs and the part line. This is helpful for all the hairstyles we do today because while your photographer will probably touch up baby hairs in some photos, they do not have the time to do it with all of them. Alrighty guys, there you go. It is definitely simple and easy, definitely understated, but it's very cool. It's a vibe. It really shows your sense of style. It's definitely not what you see at every single wedding, and that can be really, really nice if you enjoy it. Final category. And it's a favorite of mine. They actually all have been, but this one is equally favorite. Accessorize. One of the best things to happen to wedding hair and DIY wedding hair accessories, because you can just curl your hair in your favorite way, put in an accessory, and it's amazing. Or you do a very basic half updo and you put in something sparkly, dazzling. I have a couple of tips and a couple of types of accessories that I really recommend. First, for the tips. You want to make sure that it flows with the hairstyle. So if your hairstyle has like a swoop that comes across the back, maybe go in line with the swoop in some way. If it's a bun, arc over the bun. Think about like the movement of the hairstyle and match the movement. You don't want it to ever feel static and you want it to kind of radiate as much as you can. That is super not concrete, but I hope it made sense. In that effort, let's talk about some hair accessories that I really, really like. I picked all of these on Amazon and you can pick them up there too. First off, you have this kind of, I don't know what to call it, vine, I guess. You can have anything here. It could be very plain or very sparkly, a comb at either end and wire in the middle. That means that you can basically put this comb in anywhere. So this can be a little tiara moment. Like I could put this in, sweep these back, hair accessory. You could have a half updo in the back, put this in upside down, hair accessory. I did a friend's hair for her wedding where she had her hair kind of twisted back across her head and something like this. And I just nestled this in between the twist and her head. And I just added an extra little bit of sparkle. She also had dark hair, so it helped to really accentuate the line that the hairstyle was making. So I love this kind of thing because it's very versatile. You can bend it into any shape, and they tend to stay in place really, really well. You also have headbands or circlets, which are kind of like this guy. This is a very elaborate example. I am really into it though. Your headband or circlet is going to have kind of a semicircle shape already baked into it. So you're either going to be wearing it up here, perhaps in the back, Imagine if there was a braid or half updo or something like happening underneath it. These can be as extravagant as this or as simple as a gold band. You can have enamel flowers, you can have subtle sparkle, you can have a whole galaxy. Now moving into things you can pin in your hair. This is kind of similar to the vine. These can like nestle really, really easily in a hairstyle, or you can build them up to be really, really significant. And I just generally like that they're very bendable, so you can make them fit the hairstyle however you want. Because there we have like a nice line, or you could have something that is more of a cluster. This one's a very, very sparkly version. You can find much more minimal things, but yeah, this one would be more of something that would kind of nest into something else. So that is a excessively sparkly version. Here's a more minimal option with just leaves. So you get the metallic glints. You get the ability to kind of bend these in any direction. These could be pinned into an updo and then like meant to bend around and show the line of the hairstyle, give it some dimension. You could go around a half updo. I mean, there are a lot of options because they're so bendable and so customizable. I feel like I need to acknowledge that you can pin stars into your hair, and that has been just an ongoing trend. This is from Kristen Ess's new accessory line. I love these. They're very similar to the ones I used on Saf, but they have clips and barrettes, so they're a little easier to use. That's very helpful. You can get these beautiful combs like this and mix it in with some smaller stars. For example, Kristen Ess has little tiny stars that she brought back from her holiday collection a couple years ago. So good. Or you can use this on its own as a statement moment. Curls are forever going strong in weddings, and these are really good actually. These are some hairpins that I got from Amazon. Hairpins are really good for any time where your hair is pinned up and you want to just stick these in. It makes them a lot more repositionable than if they were on a bobby pin. And if you're gonna buy a set like this and try to like mix sizes and stuff, I recommend buying two, because invariably there is not enough of one size. Those are some categories that I really love because you can make them fit any hairstyle. I do also just want to shout out the really simple stuff. Like this very simple metal bar can really be a statement because it is so minimal. I had a curved bar that looked really good on my Keep It Simple hairstyle. Headbands that are very, very simple could look good as well. Given that minimalism has been popping up in different trend areas, I think it could be cool to play around with if that's in your style. Oof, guys, I feel like I'm just about talked out. I hope that this video has helped you in your DIY hairstyling endeavors. Feel free to leave me any questions in the comments down below. Thanks again to Beyond Hair Extensions for sponsoring part of this video. If you guys want to try out your own, you can use code KMXBeyond for a free hair extension bag. But that is it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to hit that like button to help support my channel. And if you're new here, click that subscribe button and join the Braidaholic family here on Kayley Melissa. And of course, guys, hit that bell icon to be notified every single time I post a new video. But that's it for today. Whether you're old or new or a casual lurker, thank you for spending time with me, and I'll see you in my next video. Mwah! Bye! This eye is running like a broken faucet. This eyeball got a warm compress, a massage, and eye drops, and she's still trying to be the star of the show. Wait, would I be cute with short hair? I mean, maybe. I'm not doing it, don't worry. Silly Kayley.